All right, let's talk about growth. Not the burnout, chase everything at once kind of growth, but something sustainable, something that actually lasts. Today, we're going to break down a framework for building that kind of long-term success in your life and career. Let's dive in.
So let's just start with the question I think we've all felt at some point. Why do so many smart, driven people just hit a wall? They're working so hard, they're pushing, but they either burn out or just feel like they're spinning their wheels. What is going on there?
Well, it really boils down to this. They try to do everything at the same time. They're chasing that promotion, starting a side hustle, trying to learn to invest and work on themselves, all with the same frantic energy. And that scattered approach, it's pretty much a guaranteed recipe for not getting very far with any of it.
So what's the move then? The real strategy is to stop thinking like a juggler and start thinking like an architect. You have to build your success in layers, one on top of the other, so they support each other and compound over time. Let's break down exactly what that looks like.
And it all starts right here, in Section 1, Building Your Personal Engine. Look, before you can build any kind of external success, a business, wealth, whatever, you have to have a rock-solid foundation internally. This is all about you, your skills, and your personal stability.
So let's start with your career. If you want to become truly valuable, like really hard to replace, you've got to build on three main pillars. First up is skill. This means going deep and truly mastering your craft. Second, communication. You have to be able to explain your brilliant ideas clearly. And third, visibility. It's not enough to do good work. People have to see you doing good work.
And let's just double-click on that skill and communication piece. Think of it like this. Your technical ability, your raw talent, that gets you in the room. It gets you the job, a seat at the table. But your ability to communicate, oh man, that's the force multiplier. That's what takes your impact to a whole other level.
And this just hammers home that third pillar, visibility. You can be the most talented person on the team, but if you're a silent performer, you're going to get overlooked. It's just a fact. Doing great work is only half the job. You have to be willing to share your ideas, to actually document your wins, and to help others. That's how your value becomes known.
But a rockstar career isn't the entire engine. And this quote says it all, right? External success on its own can feel, well, empty. That's why the other half of this foundation is all about building your personal stability.
And this stuff is the absolute bedrock. Your health, we're talking sleep, food, movement, that's literally the energy that drives everything else. Your relationships, that's your support system, the thing that builds resilience when things get tough. And self-awareness, being brutally honest with yourself is the only way you can actually improve. This isn't soft stuff, it's the core infrastructure for everything you want to build.
Okay, so once that personal engine is built and it's running smoothly, now we can move on to Section 2, activating your growth levers. This is where you take that solid foundation and start building outward, using two of the most powerful tools there are, business and money. Now, when we talk about business, the magic word is scalable. You want to build something that can grow beyond you. And there are three keys to that. First, start with real customer pain points. Find a problem people are already trying to solve. Second, focus on recurring revenue. Think subscriptions or retainers. It creates stability. And finally, you have to create systems so the business can run even when you're not there.
And the second lever is money. And listen, this isn't just about making more of it. It's about how you manage it. The framework is simple, but it's powerful. First, you earn. Obvious, right? But then you save. And that means you have to keep your lifestyle in check as your income grows. Third, you invest that money so it can start making more money for you. And last, you protect what you've built.
Investing is really where your money gets its superpower. See, money that's just sitting in a savings account is actually losing its power to inflation. So the key is to put it to work. We're talking about things like diversified investing, planning for retirement, and yeah, absolutely, reinvesting in your own business ideas.
And this brings us to the really exciting part, the big aha moment in Section 3, the compounding growth system. This is where you'll see how all these different pieces, your career, your personal life, your business, your money, they don't just add up. They actually multiply each other. So check this out. Here's how the layers stack on top of each other. Layer 1, the base, your career. By building those skills and making yourself visible, you create a source of stable, reliable income. That's the foundation.
Now, on top of that, you add layer 2. That steady income from your job becomes the fuel for your investments. You're using your salary to buy assets that build wealth completely separate from your day job.
And here's where it gets really interesting.
As you get deeper into your field, all those skills you're building start to reveal new opportunities. You start seeing problems no one else is solving, and boom, that's the seed of a potential new business.
And that business, built from your own expertise, becomes its own engine for creating wealth, an engine that's not tied to you trading your time for money. It's an entirely new income stream.
But what holds this whole thing up? What keeps the tower from falling over? It's that foundation we built back in Section 1. Your health, your relationships, your self-awareness, that personal discipline is the mortar that holds all of these bricks together. Without it, the whole thing is fragile.
So this is what we mean by compounding growth. It's not a checklist. It's a virtuous cycle. It's a system where every single layer feeds and accelerates the layer on top of it. Your career funds your wealth, your skills spark a business, and your personal life makes it all sustainable.
Okay, so this sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? Well, here's a practical blueprint. It's all about building consistent habits. Daily, you focus on your skills and your health. Weekly, you check in on your money and relationships. And monthly, you look at the big picture and make a bold move. This is how you turn the idea into reality. But you know, none of this really works without one crucial shift in the way you think. Most of us are asking the wrong question. We're asking, how can I get successful fast? The right question, the much more powerful question, is what kind of person do I need to become to consistently create success?
And why is that question so important? Because it all flows from there. Your identity, the person you believe you are, is what drives your habits every single day. And ultimately, it's those habits, stacked up over time, that produce all the outcomes you're looking for. It has to start from the inside out.
So if we boil this whole thing down to one simple formula, this is it. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's an equation for a well-built life. Your personal discipline, plus your deep skill, plus strong relationships, plus smart money decisions, that equals real, sustainable growth. That's the engine. That's the whole game.